Caleb Williams says he does not like to be friends with other NFL quarterbacks and really just other NFL players in general. So let's talk about this, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Please make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, so let's talk about this. So Caleb Williams recently did an interview with Esquire in which he basically said the following, and I quote, "I think the NFL game has become very friendly, and I don't necessarily want to be friends because I want to keep that competitive advantage," end quote. All right, so I wanted to talk about this because to me, this is something that I really like about Caleb. And for him to come out and say this, I was still a little surprised, but look, Caleb's always been outspoken. He's always going to let you know how he feels. He's an emotional quarterback. We've seen that before going back to his college days. People have been critical to him about it. I don't necessarily mind. But talking about this point that he made about being friends with other quarterbacks, or not really being friends, actually, lack thereof, I love this mentality because to me, it shows that he cares. All right. And what do I mean by that? Well, not to say that I have an issue with this type of mentality, but previous quarterbacks that the Bears have had, and we're talking about Chicago specifically, I'll get to maybe, non-Chicago players, etc. But we take a look at previous Bears quarterbacks like Justin Fields, like Mitchell Trubisky. These guys were quiet guys, right? Reserved guys that didn't talk much, didn't let their feelings be known, weren't outspoken, just, putting your head down and going to work, and that's pretty much it. Well, that's fine if you are uber productive on the field, right? If you go out there and you're quiet, but you're a killer in terms of, being able to produce and all of that, cool, got no issues with it. But when you're like that and you're reserved and you're mid, and you're not really that great, in the case of Mitchell Trubisky, wasn't very good. Justin Fields obviously has talent, but was inconsistent. Like, it's just something that doesn't fly with me. Now, like, we could take a look at players in general, even in other sports, right? You can be quiet and still be one hell of a player, right? Tim Duncan comes to mind, right? One of the greatest NBA players ever. Dirk Nowitzki, guys like that. So it's not to say you can't be good if you are a quiet, reserved player, but having that competitive advantage, that competitive fire, really shows you care. And Caleb takes losses hard, and he's saying he doesn't want to be friends because he wants to always keep that competitive advantage. And I just love this because it just shows me, like I said, that Caleb cares. He cares about winning, cares about making sure that, he is putting that as his top priority. And when you do become friends with your peers, with your contemporaries, like, you kind of, lose a little bit of that edge. Like I said, don't got a problem with guys that don't think this way. But if you don't and you're not like that, you better be productive on the football field or whatever sport you're playing. So to me, that's the thing here with Caleb, why he's so different than previous Bears quarterback, not only because he's talented, but because he cares. And another Bears quarterback, who I should have brought up first and foremost, is Jay Cutler. All right, Jay Cutler, the last thing he did was care, right? He was great on the football field. Well, I wouldn't say great. He was the best, one of the best Bears quarterbacks, but he was still not elite, right, in terms of other NFL quarterbacks in general. But he didn't care, and ultimately that's what led Jay Cutler to not have a lot of success in terms of winning, right? And so to me, this is a great trait I believe that Caleb has. Now, of course, he's got to go out there and prove it. This doesn't matter if you don't show it on the football field. Ultimately, nothing matters, right? You got to go out there, you got to produce, you got to win, you got to go ahead and put up numbers. But I just love the fact that Caleb's got this little bit of an old school mentality with his thinking. Hey, look, I'm not going to be buddy-buddy with quarterbacks because, look, I'm going against you. I want to beat you. I want to beat you down, and I want to win. So love this mentality from Caleb, man. I feel like Bears fans already rally around Caleb, but this is going to, put more fans behind him because of this way of thinking. So just that passion, that emotion on the field, I love that. It's funny, my favorite, I go back to basketball, my favorite NBA player of all time, just my personal favorite is Kevin Garnett. And he showed so much emotion on the court. One of the best things about KG was his passion, his fire, and I feel like that led into his play. So I'm not saying Caleb's to that level with KG as far as, you know, the emotion, but I just feel like, you know, Caleb's got that mentality that I like, and, you know, hopefully that paired with Ben Johnson's going to be a winning formula here in Chicago for a very long time. So just wanted to come on and talk about that and how much I appreciate that from Caleb sharing that. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like this mentality from Caleb Williams? I certainly do. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always. Thanks for watching.